Okay, we'll come back to that, guys. Sorry we had a little technical difficulty there. We'll be back with Pastor Tim here in just a second to get y'all this week's Shoot Straight video. For right now, go ahead and start calling. You guys can give us a call here at 615-737-7767 with your own questions or comments, anything you might want to ask these guys, or just comment on in general. Give us a call. We'd love to talk with you. So while we're waiting to get that video back up, guys, we've been talking a little bit about the size of the dog and different speeds and such, but let's talk about from day one up to a broke dog. So when you're going to choose a dog, what makes you choose one particular dog over the other? Number one. I mean, I know you're not always right. You know, sometimes you end up, but kind of what influences that? And then what goes from that dog up to what we call a broke dog? What is the process there?
Like from puppy stage, really there's not a whole lot you can tell. I mean, you can tell a little bit early on, like the puppies, you do sight chasing, and you know, you'll see puppies that just take to it right away, and some puppies want to play, but that's kind of expected with pups. Right. So you really can't tell a whole lot then. It's mostly based on looks, like, oh, this one looks really cute.
Good and healthy looking, you know, whatever.
And then once they get 4 months old, that's when you'll put them, like we put them in a starting pen. And all my dogs, I get them from Beagles on Fire. So, and he's done a lot of breeding. He's, you know, got rid of dogs that wasn't up to par. And so generally from him, like you go down there, and just about every dog you pick is going to have about the same abilities. They're about average. Every once in a while you'll get one that's further along at a younger age.
Right.
And so
almost more natural.
Right. Yeah. They just pick it up, like their natural instincts kick in and they just take off right away. And that's exciting, but that might not even be your best dog in a year, because one of the other dogs that you wasn't sure about will come on. They just come on at different times. But as far as like which ones to pick out with him, it's hard because you never know what they're going to be, so you kind of take a chance. But that's why you got to find somebody that you trust, and you know they always put out good dogs. That way, no matter what you get from them, it's going to be it's going to be a good dog.
He's honest. He's going to shoot it straight with you.
And everybody's got their, you know, what they like in a dog.
So at what age do you kind of determine, okay, this is going to be one of my dogs, I'm going to hunt this dog?
Once I get them,
you know, kind of when do you make that decision?
Whenever, once I get them, I'll run them. Sometimes I'll give them a year and see how they're doing, and if they haven't made any improvements on, like they still have the things that I don't like in my pack, then I'll everybody likes different things, like I said. So what I don't like, somebody else, you know, may have a problem with.
Absolutely.
And so, like, you know, I'll sell that dog and then get another dog and start it over again. But I haven't had to sell a whole lot of dogs. I've been lucky just because running them, just constantly running them year round. Sometimes I can run them 4 days a week, and that even the dogs that struggle in the beginning, when they come on really at some point, and you won't be able to tell the difference of which one was the better dog. You know, by the time they're all finished out.
Right. Yeah, and you'll catch them. Like, it's kind of neat. I've gotten to watch it with Roscoe, one of the dogs. It's a friend of ours, Richard Kirby, our field producer. It's actually his dog. I believe he's going to actually end up being a pretty good dog.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I mean is, just in a few weeks, a few different hunts with him, and he's 4 months old, you know, and he went from, he's running around, don't really know what's going on. He's just kind of watching other dogs, coming back to us. You know, the next hunt, he kind of starts to catch on to where on the last hunt, when they hit that, you know, when they struck, he knew he was heading that way. You know, he was starting to figure out, you know, hey, I'm supposed to do this.
Some dogs catch on a lot faster. Like, their instincts kick in immediately, and they're ready to go. And then at that point, they just need, you know, to be corrected, like to know to run rabbits and not deer.
Right, not deer or quail, you know, or whatever. Nothing but a rabbit.
Any off game, pretty much.
Yeah,
sometimes they get on coyote smell. And
bobcat, whatever.
So you got to get them off of that. And the thing, that's usually not the biggest problem, because David at Beagles on Fire, he puts them in a training pen, and his training pens are locked off from deer, so deer don't get in there. So they're only running rabbits. So there hasn't been many dogs, if I can't remember, maybe once or twice I've had one start off on a deer. But you get that corrected, and so from there, you know, it's just watching them, see who's standing around.
Just hunting them, and they're learning.
Repetition, just like anything.
I don't want a dog that's standing around. I want a dog that's constantly hunting, hunting.
Yeah, and not coming back and checking.
If there's a first breakdown, you know, you'll have younger dogs. They'll come back. Especially if it's more than a minute or two check. They'll come back because they don't know what to do, or they haven't been doing it long enough to know that you just got to keep looking.
So we got some callers here. Let's take a couple. Who do we have on one? Terry, how are you doing tonight?
What do you say there, fella?
I figured that might be old Terry. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, fella, I'm just sitting back here watching y'all folks sit back there in those chairs and smiling. looking all sexy.
Well,
There you, Brandon.
we just wish we could shoot like you, Terry. We'd be all right, buddy.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, if y'all didn't put so much pressure on me, that gun wouldn't have had to heat up like this.
My cousin said your invoice is in the mail for them shells and everything that day. He hadn't heard nothing from you.
I thought he was going to wave that.
He might, man. He might do it. Terry, you caught some crappie the last few days, hadn't you?
Yeah, we did. I went out there with old dude Maddox, and we caught 52 crappie there from about 8 o'clock to probably about 3 o'clock, but it was raining pretty much all day on and off. We caught them in 4 to 14 foot of water, and man, it was windy, it was cold, but they're doing their thing.
I mean,
the day before he caught them in about 4 foot of water, and then they really started lifting it. They wasn't hitting it as hard, but at the same time they were biting.
He ain't never caught that many crappie, has he?
Again, like I said, 52 there for the day. We probably had 60 fish, but the ones that measured out.
Yeah.
And you know.
That's a good day, man.
Dude.
That's a good day by any standard.
Dude, Maddox didn't catch a one, did he? He don't know how to catch him crappie, I don't think, does he?
I tell you what, you fishing with dude Maddox, you better be in shape, because I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna be chasing the whole time.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna. Tell you that for sure.
He ain't gonna fish one brush pile, is he?
He gonna fish every one.
He can sure do it though, buddy.
But I just wanted to just give y'all a holler there. Y'all fellas did a good job there. You look good.
I'm glad you
Thank
did,
you.
Terry. Have a good night, man.
I what?
Bye. All right. Richard, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I called in. I was going to ask Jacob. I took our Roscoe out in the woods, and he ran about 3, but he's running off, and then he stops balling, and then he just turns around and comes back to me. Any suggestions on how to get him to keep running that rabbit back around?
Well, what I do is I'll try to get him back, like figure out where he lost the rabbit and take him back to it and see if you can't get him back on it. And that's what I was saying earlier about the younger dogs that are just coming on. If they have a breakdown, they don't understand yet just to keep looking that area. And a lot of dogs will start circling, and once they get older, they'll know to start circling. They'll pick that track back up because they're just running with the smell. So whenever they're running and the dog will cut left, they keep running. They don't realize that he made that hard turn. Some rabbits will double back and then cut. And so it's hard for a dog to pick that up, especially when they're young and they haven't had a lot of experience. But that's generally what I do is try to, and since you're just starting them, you want to stay close to him. That way you can see where he lost it.
Yep.
And then go to that spot and just keep working him, kind of circle that area with
Till
him.
he picks it
And
back
he should
up.
pick it back up.
Well, there you go, man. Thank you for calling, Richard. That's Richard Kirby there. That's our field producer. We were just talking about Roscoe earlier, but thank you for calling, Richard. That's a good question. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, guys, time to go over and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being sponsored by our friends over at Phoenix Custom Quality Rods. I tell you what, we've been using them the last few weeks, getting them broke out for the year and getting going good. They've been working great for us like always. You guys can check them out at phoenixrods.com or give them a call right here in the great state of Tennessee. Mr. Jim Brewer at 931-213-1455, and he's got all the Phoenix models for you to
Lightweight,
look at.
great. That's a great product.
They
dude.
are.
I mean, it's one of the best rods out there.
Multiple different series, different colors, patterns,
Lengths.
Yeah, so lots of different things you guys can check out there. Dejuan, you got a tip for us tonight. What do you got, buddy?
Run your dogs all year, even in the off season. It pays off when the season starts. They don't get better sitting in the kennel.
That's right. You were running them today, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
You were running some of your dogs today. And that kind of goes back to, and Jacob hit on some of that earlier, but keeping them in shape.
That's it, man.
That way, when it comes November, they're ready to go. They've been running all summer. They're ready to go in November. So very good tip. Run those hunting dogs year round. Keep them out there. Keep them in shape. They'll be safer. It'll be safer for them, and they'll give you a better hunt. It'll just be a better quality dog. Guys, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to keep the phone lines open for you. We'll have some more Southern Wisdom Waters.